Hey everyone. Welcome back to the channel where we spill the tea on life's biggest curveballs, because let's be real, not everything is as glamorous as it looks on social media. Today we're diving into the real talk about marriage, yes, that beautiful thing they don't quite cover in the Hallmark movies. Stop. Spoiler alert, it's not all heart-shaped pancakes and slow-motion walks on the beach. Sometimes, it's more like arguing over the right way to load a dishwasher. So, grab your popcorn, because we're about to get into the hardest parts of marriage that no one talks about, unless you count those late-night, half-asleep arguments over who left the socks on the floor. Marriage is often tainted as a blissful union filled with love, laughter, and those picture-perfect Instagram moments where you're holding hands on a beach, staring into each other's eyes like you're auditioning for a Hallmark movie. But behind the curtain of wedding vows and cute couple selfies lie the real deal, the nitty-gritty of marriage that nobody really wants to talk about. Sure, there are moments of pure joy. But alongside the laughter and love, there are struggles that come with building a life together, struggles that don't make the wedding vows or romantic comedies. So, buckle up, and let's dive into the hardest parts about marriage that no one talks about. Number 1 is the slow erosion of mystery and novelty. The honeymoon phase. Those early days of dating when your partner was a delightful mystery, and even the sound of them eating cereal was charming. Fast forward a few years, and suddenly, you know everything there is to know about them. Everything. Their quirky little habits that were once endearing, now they're just, well, let's say they're no longer as cute. The thrill of novelty fades as you settle into the comfortable rhythm of daily life. Spoiler alert, it's normal. But it also means you've got to put in a little effort to keep the magic alive. No one tells you that mystery takes work, like trying to keep a houseplant alive when you don't have a green thumb. Pro tip, sometimes it's as simple as surprising your partner with their favorite snack, just not while they're eating cereal. Number 2 is the constant negotiation of needs and wants. You wanted Thai takeout, they wanted pizza. You wanted to binge watch a show, they fell asleep during the intro. Marriage is a never-ending negotiation where your needs and wants are not always aligned. It's like being stuck in a two-player board game where neither of you knows the rules, but you're both convinced the other person is playing wrong. The challenge is learning to navigate each other's differences, from the trivial to the significant. That might mean compromising on pizza night or figuring out how to split housework without feeling like one of you is getting the short end of the stick. It's an ongoing dance, and let's face it, sometimes you're going to step on each other's toes. Number 3 is the weight of unspoken expectations. You thought marriage meant Sunday brunches and synchronized towel folding. Your partner, they assumed it was more. Doing laundry means you've won at life. Unspoken expectations are one of the sneakiest marriage challenges, and they have a way of causing trouble when you least expect it. The solution? Talk. Talk about what you expect, what you want, and what you envision. Do it early, do it often. Unless, of course, you both expect the other person to initiate every difficult conversation, in which case, surprise. You're stuck in an expectation stalemate. Number 4 is the challenge of maintaining individuality. When you become a we, it's easy to forget the me. You start using we in every sentence. We love that restaurant. We think this show is great. We definitely need more sleep. But what about you, Eddie? What happened to your hobbies, your interests, your favorite coffee spot? Marriage is about partnership, yes, but it's crucial to nurture your own individuality. You don't have to join their fantasy football league just because you love them, although it doesn't hurt to pretend to care during the playoffs. And they don't need to take up knitting just to share your passion for it. Keep growing as individuals. It's what makes you interesting to each other. Number 5 is the inevitable conflicts and disagreements. If you've never argued about something insignificant, like the correct way to load the dishwasher, are you even married? Disagreements happen, from small things like dish placement to big things like finances or parenting styles. And guess what? It's normal. The goal isn't to avoid conflict, because that's impossible unless one of you is a Zen monk. Instead, the focus should be on learning how to argue productively. No one told you that marriage means becoming a master of conflict resolution, did they? Consider it the unsung skill you never knew you needed. Number 6 is the struggle to keep the romance alive amid the daily grind. Remember those spontaneous date nights and long, romantic conversations you used to have? Hey, yeah, those get a little trickier when there are bills to pay, laundry to fold, and kids to raise. Romance can take a backseat to adulting, and suddenly, your idea of a date night is ordering pizza and binge-watching Netflix in your sweatpants. And guess what? That's okay. Bonus points if you actually stay awake for the whole movie. But keeping the spark alive takes effort. It's about finding moments of connection amidst the chaos, like surprising your partner with a random dance party in the kitchen or leaving them a sweet note in their lunch bag. It doesn't have to be grand gestures, small moments count just as much. Number 7 is the pressure to live up to societal ideals of a perfect marriage. Social media loves to show us everyone's highlight reel. You see couples jetting off on vacations, celebrating anniversaries with elaborate displays of affection, and looking like they just stepped out of a romantic drama. Meanwhile, you're over here arguing about who left the empty milk carton in the fridge. The truth is, every marriage has its ups and downs, and trying to measure up to some ideal is a recipe for dissatisfaction. The best advice? Put down the phone, stop comparing, and focus on building a marriage that works for you, not one that looks good in pictures. Number 8, the fear of growing apart or losing the connection. People grow and change. You're not the same person you were 10 years ago, and neither is your partner. The fear of drifting apart is real, but so is the possibility of growing together, if you're willing to put in the work. Marriage isn't about staying stagnant, it's about evolving together. Talk about your dreams, your evolving interests, and how you're changing. Who knows? You might discover new ways to connect that you hadn't considered before, and maybe, just maybe, you'll realize you've both developed an irrational love for birdwatching. Number 9, the challenge of navigating different communication styles. Are you listening to me? If you've ever said or heard this phrase, you're probably familiar with the fact that communication is not always easy. Everyone has a different way of expressing themselves, and those differences can lead to misunderstandings. And maybe you're a let's talk about this right now kind of person, while your partner needs time to process the thoughts. Learning how to communicate effectively and respecting each other's styles is key. Think of it as learning a new language, a marriage dialect, if you will. Number 10, the constant need for compromise and flexibility. Marriage is basically an Olympic sport of compromise. Want to watch the game? Cool, but only if you agree to a romantic comedy afterward. Ready to move across the country for a job? Sure, but only if you both decide how to manage long-distance visits with the in-laws. Flexibility is the name of the game, and learning to adapt is crucial. It's not about one person always giving in, it's about finding solutions that work for both of you. Just remember, compromise doesn't mean giving up, it means giving a little, so both of you win. Number 11 is the pressure to maintain a certain image for friends and family. You know, the couple who's always picture perfect in front of others. The truth is, they probably argue about whose turn it is to take out the trash just like everyone else. There's a certain pressure to present a perfect marriage to the outside world, but the reality is no marriage is perfect. It's okay to be honest with your loved ones about the ups and downs you're facing. You'd be surprised how much more relatable and supportive they can be once you admit that you're, human. Number 12 is the difficulty of letting go of past hurts. Every couple goes through rough patches, and sometimes you unintentionally hurt each other. A hard part? Letting go. It's easy to hold on to grudges, passive-aggressive comments, but it's not so easy to forgive and move on. The key is to communicate openly about what's bothering you and, most importantly, be willing to forgive. Holding on to resentment is like drinking a gallon of milk after the expiration date. It's just going to leave a bad taste in your mouth. Number 13 is the ever-present risk of infidelity and betrayal. No one wants to talk about infidelity, but the fear of it lingers for many. Trust is the foundation of any marriage, but even with that trust, there's always a little nagging worry that something could go wrong. If infidelity does occur, rebuilding that trust is a tough road. It requires open communication, honesty, and probably a lot of counseling. But many couples do survive infidelity, and with the right support, they come out stronger on the other side. Number 14 is the fear of losing your sense of identity. When you're constantly working together as a unit, it's easy to feel like you've lost yourself in the process. You're not just you anymore, you're we. But it's crucial to remember that you're still your own person with your own needs, dreams, and goals. Don't let marriage swallow you whole. Take time for yourself, pursue your passions, and maintain friendships outside of your relationship. Your spouse fell in love with you, after all, not a watered-down version of yourself. Number 15 is the daunting task of making a lifelong commitment. Marriage is a lifelong journey, and the weight of that commitment can feel daunting at times. It's not all sunshine and roses, but the beauty of marriage is in the messy, complicated, and imperfect moments you share together. Making a lifelong commitment means embracing the ups and downs, learning to love each other through every stage of life, and recognizing that the hard parts are just as important as the good ones. Because in the end, marriage is about choosing each other, every single day. even on the days when you accidentally call them by the dog's name. And there you have it, folks, the unfiltered truth about marriage. And it's not all candlelit dinners and romantic sunsets, but hey, that's what makes it real, right? If you've ever had a showdown over the correct way to fold towels, congrats, you're officially in the club. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with your fellow survivors of the great laundry debate of 2024. See you next time, and remember, if you haven't argued about takeout at least once this week, are you even married?